All right, welcome to Crossing the Lines with Mr. 411 and the Calculator. What's going on, Calculator?
Greetings and salutation, Mr. 411. Hey, glad to be back. For those, I apologize for my absence last week. I was, doing the Vegas thing, trying to live the life. But let me tell you something. To be honest with you, I put my money where my mouth is. I'm not just going to come on here and get picks and not do it. One of my biggest winners last night. I was texting back and forth to my friend Dr. Sachs, a good friend of the show, right? I came on the show before I left. I said, "Hey, Iowa State's going to beat Iowa." A lot of people didn't agree with me. I said I like Iowa State over Iowa. I pointed it out. Go and look at the clip last week. I said everything out. As soon as I got to Caesar's Palace, right? Iowa came out with their hair on fire. I didn't place the bet yet because one of the things is there's in when you're in Vegas. See, when we're not in Vegas, a lot of times you don't get the option to do what they call live betting. What live betting is while a game's going on, you can actually live bet. Odds are changing constantly. Soon as Iowa went up, I looked at the money line. Money line literally tripled and went to 450. Right? And I said, hold on. I said that I almost bet it right there, money line Iowa State. But I said no. I said I'm just gonna. I wanted to also see how the game flows. And Iowa State looked decent, missed a field goal. Iowa started kind of being conservative already in the first. They were getting big chunks of yards on the ground. I said, hold on, what's going to happen? Iowa State scored another field goal, went up 10 there. My money line went to 600, plus 600 if you wanted to take Iowa State on mine. I said, no. I said, I said, let me take a walk to the Bellagio because I was still with the wife. We were still looking around. I wanted to check that out. As on my way over there, I had the phone in my ear, listening to the game. Iowa scored another 13-0. By the time I got to Bellagio, it was halftime. The money line in Bellagio was plus 825. What that means is if I take Iowa State to win the game straight up, I get plus 825 on my money. In other words, whatever I bet, I multiply it by 8.25, and that's your winnings, right? So I went there and I was like, hold on, I can do a little, well, I should say 80. I said, let me put $20 on it. I put $20 on
Okay.
Iowa State. It's not gonna be $20 and the payout was the 20 plus the winnings. It was going to be $190 altogether after all commissions and everything. You walk away with the ticket with 190, right? So I'm watching the game. Iowa State scores that big touchdown, and then the things start going down. The probability. The book and the books is actually trying to make me cash out early. They say, hey, I'll give you $80 on your $20 bet if you cash out right now. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I just decided to wait. And sure enough, if you watched the game, you saw what I saw. Iowa State was the better team in the second half. The experience showed up. Even when Iowa had that ball under 2 minutes, Iowa State used all their timeouts. Iowa even got a touchdown, right? Or I'm sorry, a first down, and thought that was going to end the game, but they had to kick it away with like 30 seconds left. Iowa State connects on the next pass. Guy who just missed a 30-yarder in the first quarter kicks a 54-yard touchdown or field goal to win the game. So it's like live betting works, folks. So you got, but see this, you got to trust the process. It's like a lot of people I'm sure we're saying calculator. They were probably cursing me, but they're probably lucky I don't have a Twitter account. They'd have been all in my mentions about how I call that part. You got to wait for the game to play out. And I encourage anybody, when you're in Vegas, when you're in a place where you can live betting, take advantage, because that's where you get the most for your money. One more example, what I did on the NFL game, Rams, Detroit, Sunday night. You can do this in the fourth quarter. As soon as the Ram scored that touchdown to go up, you could actually take Detroit plus 200, almost 2-1 on your money if you Detroit to win the game. And you know what? If you'd seen that game, the offensive line was decimated for the Rams. Puka Nacua out of the game. I mean, everything was going wrong, even though he was peppering Cooper Kupp with targets, and I said, the Lions are the better team. I'm going to get 2-for-1 on my money, put another $50 bet, and sure enough, Detroit ties it up, goes to overtime, wins the game 2-1. So see, that's what I'm saying. That's where you really can make money. It is hard to hire live bet because you have to be in a state that has legalized gambling and legalized sportsbook to do it. But fortunately, I was in Vegas, so I got to experience that because I had to do some research. I said, where live betting? That was the first time yours truly has ever gotten to live bet. First time I've ever been in Vegas that they did that. So, but yeah, that's something you got to do. I always encourage somebody, if people make a trip, I'm sure they do it in Atlantic City as well. Anytime you get the live bet, that's where you can get the most bang for your buck.
All right, calculator. Okay, I just got a little disconnected there for a second, but I'm back. Man, great information. I'm glad you had a great time in Vegas. And I know you brought a bag back, man. I know you brought a lot of money back from Vegas, having a great time out there and everything.
Absolutely. Well, the key,
Yes,
and when you go to Vegas, protect the bankroll and just, don't go crazy. People that go crazy are the ones that go broke. If you're conservative, you play the house always have high, the best odds, but you try your best to even those odds out with the way you play. And, just be conscientious of your bankroll and the percentages, and that's what'll win you some money.
All right. Well, look, we're heading into college week 4 already, calculated.
Yep.
And we're going to start off with Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights, everybody's favorite, because they kind of gets their mouth watering for the, Friday Night Lights was actually successful for us last year. I encourage all for you guys y'all can fact check me all you want. Just go and look at our prior shows and you'll see what I'm talking about. I try to give somebody to look forward to. Yours truly this Friday night, unfortunately, I will not be watching. I am the AKA, also known as the fry man for the Peach County High School football team. So I'll be frying some fries. They're playing cross city rival Northside this weekend, so the stadium will be packed, and yours truly is going to have 2 fry machines going this Friday night due to the packed house that's going to be expected at Peach County. But yes, it's a classic matchup. Illinois Fighting Illini at the Nebraska Cornhuskers, 8:00. That's right. There are 3 games to choose from. So this is the one, and the reason it caught my eye is because it opened up as an 8-point favorite. And I'm thinking, man, that's right on my number right there. Folks, it went all the way up to 10. It might be 9.5 now. So you got to check your local sports books to see what it is. But at the time of this production, I got 10 points. And before I get started, Mr. 401, that's why they got to click that notification button, because we're trying to get you the information so you can get the best line at the time. If it's a day old, I can't help you out. So as of when I wrote this up, it was 10 o'clock. That's a key number, folks. Everybody talks about key numbers. When it hits 10 numbers, that's when you press the button. Okay, low over under 43 points, folks. There is a stat out there. As an underdog, if you're getting 10 or more points and the over-under is under 45, the win rate for the underdog to cover 63%. Hey, that's better than any percentage you're going to get in craps, roulette, or any other type. If you get a 63% historical winner, those are things that you can take, right? So the returns on Nebraska freshman quarterback, right, Raiola, exceeded all expectations to this point. But the toughest defense the Cornhuskers have played this year is Northern Iowa. Illinois doesn't have a great offense. I agree. But the defense for the Fighting Illini is legit. I have the feeling that Bielema will be able to slow down the Cornhuskers offense and cause the young quarterback to make enough mistakes to keep Illinois within striking distance. And when you got 10 points, that is enticing enough for me to go with the Fighting Illini under the Friday Night Lights. So Bielema keeps it close. Take the 10 points. I'm not scared at 9.5 because I think this is going to be within a touchdown throughout the game. So yes, I do like the Fighting Illini this Friday night.
All right, way to kick things off with the Friday Night Lights. Sir. Hey man, Fry Man on Friday night. I love that. All right, calculator.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, what kind of fries you gonna be frying, man?
I do the crinkle fries. There you go. Yeah, okay. The crinkle fries. And you know what? I gotta do it a little. I have it. A lot of people say sometimes they thaw the fries to make them cook quick. That's not the best way, from my experience, go straight from freezer to fry sauce. You know what I'm saying? To the fryer. You don't want any of that thaw because you can get the crisp on the outside and still be mushy on the outside. But if you go straight from the freezer into the fry vat, you get it crispy on the outside and inside at the same time.
Okay.
So that's a little info to anybody that wants to do fries for their local football team.
All right. Way to take care of business there, calculator. All right. And another order of business. Make sure you all check us out on TikTok, Mr. 411, right there on TikTok, Mr. 411. They also have the QR code right there. If you could just use your phone and just scan that QR code and take you straight there. You'll get clips like from this show and all the other shows that we do as well, especially our fantasy football show too. That calculator is on. So make sure you help us out there and follow us on TikTok. Calculator, you did the Friday Night Delight. Now it's time to move into the Saturday slate.
Yes, sir. And hey, they always talk about big noon. So I'm not doing the big noon game. I'm not I don't want to touch that Ohio State Marshall game. You know what I'm saying? So you can have your big noon Saturday for another game. I'm concentrating on something that I think can give us an advantage, and that's your James Madison Dukes at the North Carolina Tar Heels. The line is 10.5. Hey, believe it or not, these two teams early in the season, they've already had a similar opponent in Charlotte. James Madison beat Charlotte 30-7 in week 1, and UNC won their home game against Charlotte 28-20. James Madison has been stout against the run all this year, and due to North Carolina playing the quarterback carousel due to their starter getting hurt in the opening weekend of the game, points could be hard to come by for the UNC offense. On the other side, the UNC defensive line could own the line of scrimmage, which could limit the offense of the Dukes. This can be yet another over-under. This over-under is another one under 50 points. So anytime you have what could be a slow pace slugfest, I'm taking a dog that's getting another thing of double digits. Oh, yeah. James Madison has had a bye week. They're coming off a bye week. They're going to be fresh. They're going to be fired up, playing one of those top, one of those Division I teams. So, they're in Division I, but big conference, power conference teams, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think this hook 10.5 again. That hook over a key number could play dividends. So I'm going to take the double-digit dog with the hook. Put up your Dukes. James Madison covers on Friday on the early noon game.
All right, that's an interesting game to take a look at. James Madison, former FCS program, has really skyrocketed and moved into that FBS, and they are legit. And I love what you said about the common opponent too with Charlotte.
Yeah. And exactly, Mr. 4-1, and we said they moved up. You know what? They have been given all these big power conferences. James Madison has to go on the road. Nobody wants to do home and home with James because James Madison's for real. It's like well coached, disciplined team. Hey, North Carolina is going to have the better athletes, but I'm telling you right now, James Madison is going to be one of those teams that just plays solid within their scheme, and I think that'll give North Carolina trouble.
Hey, I wouldn't even be shocked if they won the game. I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I have a couple of sources out there. They said, hey, the money line's paying. If the money line's giving you good enough odds, take a chance.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's see what's coming up next, calculator.
Big win. Epic win.
Yes, sir. Wonderful flashbacks after seeing that because I was seeing it all week last week, Mr. 4-1. Thank you for playing that. But yes, that's right. It's jackpot time, folks. And that's why it's an interesting game. We got the Kent State Flashes, all right, versus they're visiting the Penn State Nittany Lions. Folks, the Lions 49. You guys are saying, calculate, what in the world are you giving me a line that has 49 and you want me to, hey, folks, we're not going to touch the line. And this is why it's my jackpot, folks. Yes. Well, first of all, you're not going to watch the game unless you have a friendly wager on it, right? So let me if this is the only game you can get, and they've got blackouts in there, but if this ain't, you just might be a Big Ten fan, want to see them beat up on a little brother, right? Hey, normally I stay away from big lines unless I see a trend that really helps. And I like this trend so much. That's why I put this as my jackpot. James Franklin, the head coach of the Penn State, is famous for running up scores, just famous, and covering spreads. But we're not doing spreads, and I'll tell you that why that in a little bit. Folks, James Franklin is 6-0 on overs in non-conference games at home where they are favored by 20 or more points, right? Let's spread it out to 30 points. Or, I'm sorry, that was 12-3 at 20. If you spread it out to 30, he's 6-0. So he goes from 12-3 to 6-0. Hey, both of them are great to have. So anytime he has a bigger spread than 30, the guy is 6-0 at home as a favorite over 30 points, right? So, hey, Penn State should be able to cover this over. Over-under is only 49, not even in the 50s. It's over 40. It actually started at 46, but when the people started seeing trends, it shot up to 49, hadn't quite made the 50 point. So that's why it's like, hey, I'm still – Penn State's going to score over 50 by themselves. But see, the reason I'm not going to – you can say, well, calculator, if you think they're going to win by more – if they're going to score 50, why don't you just take – you never know what's going to happen with a fumble that Kent State can fall on and get a field goal, or an interception, a turnover, or they'll let the gas on the pass, and then there's some free. You never know how the ball can bounce. Kent State could get a freaky field goal, a freaky a touchdown off of a turn. A lot of things. So I'm just going to take the over, because even if they get one of those, that's going to help you over, right? But yeah, Penn State covers 40. They'll get over 40. Tennessee had 71 against Kent just last week, folks. I'm sorry. Penn State will get it. James Franklin saw what Tennessee did to Kent State. They said, we got to put on a show as well. So, hey, just take over 49, and you'll be, I'm sorry, the line's 49, the line's 56.5. I was reading the wrong number. But hey, like I said, Penn State's going to score. They're going to get the over by themselves. I wouldn't be surprised if Penn State gets up in the 60s, because Penn State's second teamers will be able to score at will against the Kent State Flashes. So, yeah, take the over 56.5.
Booyah. Jackpot, baby.
Yes, sir. I love it.
All right, so we're going to take that. All right. And something else that you need to take is our advice. Once again, follow us on Instagram as well at Mr. 411, and there's another QR code that you can utilize. So follow us there. So if you do these things, you're following us on YouTube, you're following us on TikTok, and following us on Instagram. And we had a big shout out here to the Nard Report. Big shout out to Nard. He's doing great work out there. He's on all social media platforms. So make sure you follow the Nard Report. All you have to do is type in the Nard Report on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever else he's at. But I know he's on those three because I follow him, and he has great information out there as well. So we definitely appreciate the support from the Nard Report, based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Man, you know what? In Atlanta, man, calculator. There's some places that you can eat. And you remember that place? You remember that place called Stats? I think you have some of your amazing drafts there.
I'm very familiar with Stats. Although I do advise not, if you have a big group, not to have a draft there, because they'll squeeze you in, and then if you have some people that didn't do their research, they sit by the person that did do research, and a lot of people start copying off of other people.
Oh man!
So we actually had to go. We actually moved my draft from Stats. We're going to other places now to give us more room. Hey, we had a whole upstairs this past draft, so we're kind of happy with that.
All right. Well, man, wherever you went, how was that food, man? How was it? How did the food taste wherever you went?
It was great. I mean, I had the buffalo chicken wrap with some tater tots. Anytime you can give me tater tots, yours truly is there.
Oh yeah, man, and I love the smell of tater tots, calculator.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
All right, that's so hot there, man. I had to play that because I just couldn't wait, calculator. But we also with The Rock, man, and smell what The Rock is cooking. And we're gonna find out what The Rock is cooking very soon. But right now, let's go to Oklahoma State, man. What is going on with there? What in Oklahoma State has caught your eye?
What the Utah at Oklahoma? Okay, tell me if you've heard this before. Will the 7th-year senior Cam Rising play? Yes. Cam Rising has taken a page out of the Bo Nix playbook in playing college football until your 30th birthday. Hey, but he has trouble staying on the field, right? No doubt about it. Utah is a different, better team when Rising under center. However, he is hardly out there ever to finish the game. So let's say he is under center. Let's say Cam Rising is under center. He definitely won't be 100%. On the other side, you have a team with a great track record of beating very good teams while playing in the friendly confines of Boone-Pickens Stadium, while the Utes have a track record of not playing well on the road. I think Oklahoma State, with their experienced quarterback, will use their pace, their home field advantage to wear down Utah, and Utah will have trouble keeping pace. Hey, I actually had this game with Oklahoma State as a slight favorite with a healthy Rising. So now that he's questionable, I got to do it. Also, it's under that key number of 3, folks. So I'm only having to give it 2.5, right? I think they'll score enough, especially I think they'll score late. I think the Cowboys keep up their early momentum with a win at home. How about them Cowboys? Oklahoma State minus 2.5.
All right. Oklahoma State Cowboys. All right, nice selection there, Calculator. That's interesting. I like that game anyway, so I'll be tuning in to watch that one myself.
And that could be a smelly line as well. So it's kind of interesting because you think Utah, top 15 team, what in the world are they getting points against the Oklahoma State team ranked lower than them, even with the home field and stuff like that? You would think Utah, a lot of people would say, oh, that's smelly line. But okay, well, I'm still going to take the favorite, even if you think Utah's the better team. No, there's too many things going on. That's what made it a little smelly, but not as smelly as the next one.
Oh, man.
You know what that means?
Yes, sir. Mr. 41, you were so fired up you had to do it early, but hey, that's right. Smelly line time. We had a pre-smelly. This is the super smelly. And the reason I say that, how in the world is an undefeated ranked team playing at home is a full touchdown underdog to another team? I mean, Oklahoma's undefeated, have a couple blowout wins, right? But hey, instead of going to Oklahoma State, when yours truly smells something off, you gotta go deeper. And what I've seen, when I look at Tennessee, folks, those jokers just scored again. That's right. The Vols are just rolling on offense, right? But you may say, calculator. Oklahoma has a great defense this year. Hasn't allowed more than 12 offensive points per game in 3 games this year. And I will say this: NC State has what we thought was a very athletic, very solid defense, and the Vols still went out there and scored over 50 points against those jokers. Folks, the Vols they can score early, they can score off. They have their quarterback showed that he can move against I'm telling you, the Vols, the NC State was the real deal, right? This game, though, is what's going to come down. It's going to come down to the Oklahoma offense. They struggled against the bad Houston game, and don't let that 34-19 game against Tulane fool you. That was a one-possession game going into the fourth quarter. Yes, this is the first true road game for the Vols, but they absolutely have an offense that can score defense, and their defense is going to struggle. I think, hey, that defensive line for Tennessee is no joke, and the offensive line for Oklahoma has got a couple injuries. Could be playing. If you got an injured O line going against a fresh, ferocious D line, that's going to spell trouble for a quarterback that has been known to make a few errant throws under pressure, right? So, hey, this is we in the last 12 games, Tennessee has played as a favorite against a ranked opponent. Folks, they are 11-1. 9-3 against the spread with a point per game differential of 16.1 points. Folks, that is way over this 7 that's out there. So, hey, it's a key number of 7. I know a lot of people might give pause, but I have Tennessee winning this one by double digits, 2 touchdowns even. You know what I'm saying? Folks, the Vols are going to welcome Oklahoma. They're going to say, welcome to the LCC. They're going to welcome them to the SEC by going into their house, eating their wings, drinking their beer, and closing the door on their way out. Folks, Tennessee rolls in this one. And smelly line or not, Tennessee is going to cover this 7 points easy.
Wow. And this game has a lot of backdrop behind it too, with Tennessee and Oklahoma. As you mentioned, the first SEC
Yep.
game for Oklahoma, but in Heupel, right?
Yeah.
This is the Heupel Bowl, right? The former
quarterback for Oklahoma.
Quarterback, coach, all this stuff, and now he's coming. He's gonna try to extract revenge against his old school. So it's all gonna be worth watching on Saturday, man.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Looking forward to
man.
that game.
Absolutely. And again, shout out to the Nard Report. Check him out every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. live on YouTube every Tuesday night. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and same thing I do, and that notification bell, because that way you can be in line and be ready to listen to the Nard Report. He had a great review of the NFL this past week. Big Falcon fan is he. And I'm still trying to get him to get my Seahawks to 8-0. But he didn't quite predict them to go 8-0. Maybe I can get Nard to change that, but I do understand why. All right. Next matchup calculator.
Yes, sir. Iowa Hawkeyes at the Minnesota Gophers. Folks, Iowa did me good by taking the gas off the pedal and let Iowa State hang around and win the game. But, hey, you can say calculator. Iowa's got an offense this year. They've scored 38 or more points in 2 of their 3 games this year. And you know what? I do see an improved offense this year. However, as their offense has improved, it looks like their defense has suffered. Heck, they gave up 3 touchdowns to a winless team from the Sun Belt in Troy just last week. With all that said, it's all about trends and matchups. And the last, I went 29 games, folks. I went 29 games back, right? Iowa is 22-6-1, right? As a road favorite. Okay, in this series alone, where they played Minnesota, Iowa had covered 7 straight until last year. You might say, what happened last year? Well, if people watched that game last year, Minnesota won 12-10, but if people watch that game, Iowa actually had a punt return touchdown called back on what I thought is a questionable penalty. You might want to talk to Nard if he wants to pull up that footage and see what he says about that penalty. I'm still a little thing about that because I had a little friendly wager on that one that kind of hurt me. Hey, I was going, I won 7 straight. I thought it was 8, but no, you take that away, Iowa wins that one game and covers, right? Hey, the only way you can beat Iowa, or I would say really Iowa struggles against, is deep, explosive plays. Folks, Minnesota don't do that. Minnesota runs the ball on first down, runs the ball on second down. They might do a screen pass on third down, depending on down and distance. But, Iowa has the perfect type of defense that just smothers you. Hey, that's going to allow Iowa. I've always said Iowa's like a boa constrictor. They just kind of just tighten you until they can just, put you away in the fourth quarter. And folks, that'll allow Iowa's, they'll keep that game slow pace and nice and tight. And I just think the All-American running back Iowa has, Caleb Johnson, will get that touchdown in the fourth quarter against a tired, worn out Minnesota defense. And that's where they cover. It's only 2.5. That's why, I think it'll be, it's a 36-point over under. So we know we always talk about that is very low, folks. This has 17-10, 10-7 written all over it, you know what I'm saying? But Iowa will get that touchdown that will cover the 2.5. So I like the Hawkeyes to keep up their streak of winning as a road favorite. So take your Hawkeyes minus 2.5.
All right, take the Iowa Hawkeyes. All right, you talked about a boa constrictor, and all this kind of stuff. Let's keep it in that. Let's keep the animal theme going. Then we have the Bears and the Buffaloes battling.
That's right. Two live animals that nobody wants to see each other in the woods, because both of them get hurt. But hey, when you bet as often as I do, when you want to take the betting philosophy to be a successful bettor, I do want to say is you got to have the mindset of an NFL cornerback. And what I mean is, if you get burned, forget about it, make an adjustment, go back out there. Hey, Dion squad, if you listened to the show 2 weeks ago, I was on them against Nebraska, right? They burned me 2 weeks ago. You know what? But I think that actually helps me with Vegas doing an overcorrection in the line. And I'm saying, yeah, Baylor's 2-1 this year, 3-0 against the spread. But all three of those games were matchups that favored them. They were run-heavy matchups that Baylor could play defense against. But if you actually, even though they covered against Utah, Baylor struggled in the first half when Utah was passing the ball. And when Utah had the big lead, what they do? They started going to the run approach. And that's why Baylor was able to stick around, score a couple late touchdowns, get within the point. Folks, Baylor did not have an impressive pass rush, and I'm telling you, that is going to work in Colorado's favor. I've said it before. I'll say it again. The Buffaloes have a future NFL quarterback in Sanders. They have two stud receivers in Hunter and Horn. Hunter, he'll just switch on the other side and he can be a shutdown receiver. I like having the talent advantage at certain positions, especially if they can attack the deficiency of the other team. And I think that's where Dion will be able to do this, right? Hey, Colorado's going to give up some points. I agree, but I think it's going to be one of those where Baylor's going to be in catch-up mode, right? I think by the time they blink the eye, it'll be third quarter. It's going to be like 21-3, and Baylor says, "Oh man, we got to catch up." And what's going to happen? That's going to put that offense for Colorado back on the field to wear them down even more. So yeah, I like Colorado because I'm only giving up 2 points. This is basically almost a pick 'em game. I'm going to take the home team. They're going to be playing in altitude. They're going to be fired up, especially after that Colorado State game. And guess what? Hunter is healthy. Colorado, I've always said it, they are a different team when Hunter is healthy and out there. The guy is, top 5 pick next year, depending on who picks where, because he can play both offense and defense, and he's dynamic at both positions. So, yes, I'm going out there again. I'm going to be the NFL quarterback. I'm going to forget about that Nebraska game, and I'm sticking with Colorado again at Colorado -2. They're going to win this one at least by 7 or more points.
All right, there you go. Calculator is running it back with the Buffaloes.
Yes, sir. Oh, and even though that's it for my picks, but we got to give people something else, don't we, Mr. 411? And we got to start out with there are 3 things. If you're new to the show, there's 3 things that Mr. 411 believes in. What's that, Mr. 411?
Well, you know what, Calculator? There's 3 things that Mr. 411 believes in. And let's start from up above. Mr. 411 believes in the man upstairs. Without the man upstairs, none of this would be possible, Calculator. Everything, none of this stuff is done by chance. It's done because of the man upstairs. All right, Mr. 411 also believes, and it's getting closer, man. With every episode, we're getting closer to this time of year.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we know the Coles distribution staff. They know that man's going to be in their rearview mirror real quick.
That's right. They making sure all the shelves are available. The warehouse is, they cleared out all that stuff from the summer so that the warehouse is clean. So for Old St. Nick to come in there and drop those gifts in there so that they can sell them at a higher price, you know what I'm saying? But hey, nonetheless, Mr. 411 believes in Old St. Nick. And then third, Calculator. All right. Last but not least, Mr. 411 believes in Dr. Sachs and the algorithm, Calculator.
The algorithm, folks, and like I said, with his stuff, he protects it like Coke protects their formula. But the one thing that I love about that algorithm, always working, takes new information every week and just spits out a new number. But hey, and this time, Dr. Sachs, when I was talking to Dr. Sachs, he was congratulating me on the Iowa State call. He was, and I was, I appreciate it because, I also take advice from Dr. Sachs too. We play off of each other, right? So, but hey, he gave me a little tidbit. He says the model really likes Arkansas plus 3.5. And you know what? Dr. Sachs, even though he questions things, he likes to get. He's a trend guy. Anytime you deal with numbers, you look at trends. Under head coach Pittman, Arkansas 9-1 against the spread when taking under 6 points. They're only taking 3.5. That's a good for the trend. Under Pittman, 7-1 against the spread as a road underdog. They're the underdog getting a 3.5 point. Hey, so far so good. But get this, Mr. 4-1. I thought this was the very interesting stat. Take it for what it's worth. 7-0 against the spread as a road underdog when they are not undefeated. So,
Wow.
So I don't. So I was like, hey, like I said, take it. But then Mr. Sachs did a little thing at the end. He says, "Oh yeah." He said, calculator. Auburn quarterback Peyton Throne is really, really bad. So he said, if you're going to get a field goal in the hook, he said, take Arkansas on the money line, folks, because he says Arkansas is going to win this one straight up. So depending on the percentage you're getting on the money line, or hey, you could do like the calculator and hope that Auburn scores something first. You get even more money on the more of a positive number, more on the money line. But hey, yeah, I agree with Mr. Dr. Sachs. I love those trends. I love the model, but I loved it when he said, "Hey, the Arkansas quarterback's really, really bad." I said, was that thrown into your formula? He said, no, but the stats that the Auburn quarterback has been putting up for the past 2 years is in there. So that's what he says. So I was like, okay, I can go with that. So yeah, take your Arkansas Razorbacks plus 3.5.
Absolutely. All right, man. What an episode, calculator again.
Great episode.
We're already into week 4, man.
It flies by. Oh, and folks, hey, keep tuning in because we're not. It's harder to take on the big games, but we like to hit the big games. We're going to give you those 49 if it's going to favor you, but we also like to pick the big games because those are the ones that you watch and those are the ones that get you excited. So that's why we do cover big matchups as well, and we try to give you an edge wherever we can.
Yep, absolutely. And nobody's more excited about this than the calculator.
Oh,
and
yes, sir.
We thank him for doing what he does. And a big shout out to Surge TV as well on the simulcast. Surge TV. Big shout out to them up in the Northeast. And we definitely appreciate their contributions as well to 401 Sports World Network. And we continue to do more and more things with them. So we have to give our shout out to them and give the praise to them because they are helping us in a big way as well. Another thing, all right, want you to take the time to go to www.411sportsworld.org, the 411 Sports World Fun Walk. We had to rearrange the date, and so we have our date. It is official, October 19th, 2024. The weather should not be a factor this time, so we're good to go. So October 19th, come on out. Come out and walk. There'll be plenty of vendors out. Food vendors. We're gonna have some fun activities out there going on. Plus, you can walk, and walking is one of the greatest ways to exercise. Less impact on your body, and long-term great effects for you. So come out, have fun, walk with us. For more information, go to www.411sportsworld.org, where you can register. And if you pre-register, you got about 9 more days to do it. You get a T-shirt that will be included there with your registration. So make sure you do that. Now, if you're not able to make it, you can still there's a donation tab if you'd like to give a donation. And then if you just want to order a shirt, there is an option there to order the shirt only. But we look forward to everybody supporting the event and help push out that autism awareness. All right, calculator. I'll see you soon because we have the fantasy football show coming up in a few more days.
Right. That's right.
And then we'll be back again a week from now with more Crossing the Line.
Hey, and folks, you can take my advice. I give you what I research. So you can take it for what it's worth. You can fade me if you like. That's totally fine. But hey, I'm just going to give you what I see and then make my predictions on that. And like I said, you can always take it for what it worth. But hey, we just appreciate you tuning in, and we also appreciate several of the places like the Ponderosa RV Park. Those guys were great. When they hosted us last year. They're the ones that they're the ones that had the propane tanks and grilling out to the show and stuff like that. And we know our buddy Bo always with his bacon wrapped shrimp on the grill during the Crossing the Line section. So yeah, I'm just glad to be back so I can talk and interact with my friends.
Hey, calculator, we're gonna have to get out there, man, and do a live one, and then we get some of that bacon wrapped shrimp and do an episode live, man.
That's payment enough, right? That bacon wrapped shrimp right off the grill.
Absolutely. All right. Well, he's the calculator. I'm Mr. 401. We thank everybody. Big shout out to the NAR Report. Appreciate him being on. And remember, check out our event, www.411sportswear.org. And this is for you, Bo. Get ready for the outro.